Are you ready to take control of your relationship with food, feel more energized, and improve your health? Have you heard of time-restricted eating or the 16-8 intermittent fasting plan and you just want to know if it's right for you? Then keep watching because I'm going to break it down for you so that you can make an informed decision about fasting.
Hey, feeling good, like I should.
Hey there, I'm Nikki, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. I really enjoy bridging the gap between scientific research and everyday people, especially in health and wellness, so that people can make informed decisions about their health and live happier, healthier lives. Today, I'm going to talk about time-restricted eating, or the 16-8 plan. I'll cover some of the research that brought 16-8 fasting to our attention, the pros of this eating plan, and the cons. But first, to learn about what happens in your body when you fast, some of the health benefits of fasting, and who shouldn't fast, check out this video. You'll get a better understanding of why fasting is quickly growing in popularity and the science that backs it up. To learn more about what to eat, what not to eat, how to properly start fasting, and also tips on how to fight cravings, watch this video where you'll get practical tips on how to successfully start fasting. Okay, time-restricted eating. How did researchers even figure out that this could be a thing? Well, in 2012, Dr. Satchidananda Panda's lab at the Salk Institute in San Diego, I actually used to work not far from there at the Scripps Research Institute, was studying whether the liver had its own circadian rhythm. They fed two groups of mice a really high-fat diet to make them fat. To be a mouse. Just kidding, you don't want to be a lab mouse. And then one group was only allowed to eat within an 8-hour window, and the other group was given access to food for 24 hours, and they consumed the same number of calories. 100 days later, the mice who ate all day gained weight, as you might imagine, and they developed high cholesterol, insulin resistance, and fatty liver disease, all bad things. The mice who ate within an 8-hour window also gained weight, but 28% less than the mice in the other group, and they had none of the health issues. Since then, there have been a lot of studies demonstrating that a narrow eating window actually does seem to coincide with the cellular clocks of our digestive organs, which improves the absorption of nutrients, the use of energy, and it improves your insulin response. But also, and more importantly, the 16-hour fasting period creates this energy scarcity, which is enough to activate ketosis, a state where you burn fats because you've run out of glucose. And that's a good thing because you're burning up excess fat. And it also initiates something called autophagy. Now, autophagy is when our cells clean house. In this process, our cells digest old or damaged proteins and scraps of damaged cells and break them down into molecules that they can then use for energy, or molecules that they can reuse for new cells. It's sort of like a cellular recycling process. And there have been promising human studies as well. In 2018, in the journal Nutrition and Healthy Aging, a study of the 16-8 fasting protocol was done in humans. Study participants who had the 16-8 fasting schedule lost about 3% of their body weight and decreased blood pressure after only 12 weeks. They also experienced lower blood sugar levels and lower levels of bad cholesterol, the LDL, and improved sensitivity to insulin. And the research is ongoing. All right, so let's talk about the pros to this specific eating plan, the 16-8 plan. You don't need to count calories, so it's simple. It's a really sustainable schedule once you get used to it. All you really have to do is pick your eating window. Not hungry in the morning? Then eat from noon to 8 p.m. Or maybe you have really busy evenings. Maybe that's when you work and it's easier to get your meals out of the way early in the day. Then you can eat from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. You want a slightly more traditional meal schedule? Make your eating window 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's pretty flexible. You can do this once or twice a week, or you can do it every day. And if you weren't able to do it Monday for whatever reason, maybe you had to bring your kid to a birthday party and they had pizza and ice cream, for example. You can try again the next day. It's a pretty easy approach to fasting because most of the fasting time is spent sleeping, and the fast just ends up being this continuation of the nighttime fast. It's really up to you. You can baby step it and you can adjust as you go. Just make sure that once you find a schedule that works, stick to that schedule. Consistency is going to make this transition a lot easier. Ketosis and autophagy can be reached within this fasting window, so you could gain all of those health benefits. Now, of course, no diet is perfect, and the 16-8 plan is no different. So here are some cons. You do need to keep your eye on the clock and do a little bit of like mental math to figure out your eating and fasting windows. So it still may not be the simplest solution to a healthier lifestyle for some people. Since it's better to stick to a consistent eating window, it may not be that easy to do for certain people, maybe those who do shift work, firemen, or maybe people whose schedules vary from day to day, for example. It's not impossible to do if you can really carefully plan. It's just a little tougher. Narrowing your eating window to just 8 hours a day may cause some people to eat more than usual during these eating periods because they want to make up for hours spent fasting. Don't do this. This can lead to digestive problems, really unhealthy eating habits, and weight gain, which is like the opposite of what you want. Keep your meals balanced and sensible if you can, and if you need to, you can snack within your eating window. Just don't go nuts. Eat nuts. It's not a magic diet. While there are more and more human studies being done, most of the studies so far have been done in animals, and obviously the results in humans don't perfectly recapitulate the results in mice. And beyond that, what works for one person may not work for another. For example, it's been great for me, but it may not work for everyone, and it really depends on each individual's health profile, their actual adherence to the schedule, their genetics, and their eating and lifestyle habits. Some studies also suggest that men and women are affected by intermittent fasting differently, and that it could interfere with fertility and reproduction in females. And this is actually the case for all fasting plans, not just the 16-8 plan, so always consult with your physician if you're pregnant, trying to get pregnant, or nursing. As long as your cycles aren't being affected or changed by your fasting, it's still entirely possible to get pregnant, but you need to absolutely consult with your doctor to see if starting a fasting protocol and trying to get pregnant at the same time makes sense for you. It might not. That said, there are also a number of different health conditions that preclude fasting. So like I said, it's not for everyone. And the point is, and always will be, consult a physician if you're ever thinking about changing or doing something drastically different in your diet. So do you think the 16-8 intermittent fasting plan is for you? If you do, great. If you don't, at the very least, this could be a really good starting point to healthier habits. For example, maybe you can start with cutting out snacks, and then you can increase the time between meals, and then maybe, you can work your way up to 12 hours fasting and 12 hours eating. And then maybe after a couple months, you can do 16-8. I will say that for me, it's been kind of a gateway fasting plan. I actually do 18-6 most days. I stop eating at 7 p.m. and then I have my shake around 1 p.m. the next day. Maybe once or twice a month, I'll attempt a 24-hour fast. It doesn't always work, but I try. And on weekends, what with brunch and going out at night, it doesn't always happen. And even on weekdays, if we go out to dinner with friends or do date night, it may not happen. The point is, you can be as strict or as lenient as you need to be. In my next video, I'll be talking about alternate day fasting, which is exactly as it sounds, and could be an even simpler eating plan than 16-8. So watch and find out. Do you have a health-related science question you want me to answer? Write me a note in the comments below and maybe I'll give it a shot. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.